Again, you can grab another piece of paper if you like. The next one, right? Now, this is a blend between lifestyle design and mindset. And it's all about your morning routine. And, you might say that your morning routine should be under lifestyle design. It's the way that you structure your morning. But really, it's the way that you prime your mind for the day ahead. So I always explain it like this. So if you start the day right, you generally have a good day. Now, if you start the day in a bad way, if you start with a shit mindset, basically, you're probably going to have a shit day. If you're one of these people that's like, oh, I've just had a nightmare of a morning and blah, 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 this day is going to be this, that, and the other, well, you're probably going to have a shit day. If you keep having great mornings, set yourself up with a great morning routine, you have a great morning, you're going to go into work or you're going to go into your business, that's going to have a knock-on effect to a great day. Now, if you stack a bunch of great days on top of each other, you have a great week. Stack a bunch of great weeks on top of each other, you have a great month. Keep repeating the process and you have yourself a great year. Ultimately, stack the years on top of each other and you have yourself a great life. So the morning starts with the mind. So there's things that you're going to do to prepare your mind, right? First of all, stop scrolling. Do not wake up, start scrolling. Do not wake up and start checking emails. Do not wake up and start checking like a sauna notifications, anything like that. It can wait. It can literally wait, right? Unless it's an emergency, it can wait. What you want to be doing is prepping your mind so that you can respond to those things. If you wake up out of bed and straight away you start checking things and you get some bad news in your business, straight away you like, that's going to make you angry. It's going to make you react. And then the rest of your day is going to follow. If you take some time for yourself on a morning, put your mind in a good state, put your body in a good state, you are going to have a much better day. So it's kind of like use the mornings to prepare your mind, to prepare the rest of your day, to prepare you for life. Now, there are a few things that I do on a morning, right? These are kind of like my non-negotiables, I call it like my quadro of rituals. And so the first one is like gratitude. So just, when it's not cloudy and I see the sun rising from my window every morning, it's like, I'm so grateful to have that. I actually feed it the gratitude in with my visualization, which is another non-negotiable for me in the morning. And, visualizing those things and visualizing myself and just being grateful for those things, that already is changing the state of which you live in. You kind of start to live in a state of abundance. The other thing is as well, which I forgot to mention, is there's a part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex, which is most active on a morning. And it's the main part of your brain that like actually programs your mind, your subconscious. So it's for like decision making and planning and all these things that basically if you use this time in the morning when this part of your brain is most active and you're feeding it information, if you're changing, you're visualizing, you are how am I trying to explain this? You basically lost myself here. This is why we're doing these practice videos, right? So your mind is in this like hyper-grammable state first thing on the morning. So you want to be doing things that are going to program your mind. And if that's doing things like, meditation, visualization, breath work, or, spending some time doing some recovery, mobility, like that sort of stuff, just prepping yourself, also doing the things that man would do, that's going to keep reinforcing in your brain that I am showing up, I'm doing the things that this man would do. And then eventually you are going to be living as that man. So you've got gratitude, you've got visualization, and you've also got learning. So again, it's when the prefront, like this part of your brain is for taking in information and programming your brain. So if you're taking in information, if you're learning first thing on a morning, like for me, that's when I get my best part of my day is first thing on a morning, when I get the most amount of work done, when my mind is just like on fire. But I like to listen to audiobooks. I like to sometimes listen to a lot of audiobooks. You might want to listen to a podcast. You might actually want to do it the old-fashioned way and pick up a book and read. Another thing that I like to do is habit stacking. which, listening to an audio while I'm doing my mobility, while I'm out walking the dog. It's kind of habit stacking these things on top of each other where they don't take any more time. You can kind of do these things at the same time. So, the next one is movement. So moving your body, priming your body for the day. You've just been lying in bed for 6, 7, 8 hours. You want to move your body first thing in the morning, get the blood flowing. Not only that, it wakes you up. Not only that, it's great for kind of recovery if you are doing hard workouts. So for me, stretch, mobility, using my foam roller, that kind of thing on a morning. And again, you can habit stack. So while you're doing your stretch and mobility, you can be listening to an audiobook. So yeah, the other thing, practicing your gratitude when you're doing your visualization, or if you're out just walking on a morning, watching the sunrise. Sometimes I'm like, I just look at my dog and I'm just so grateful for her because I absolutely love her to bits. And it's just putting your mind in a prime state before you take on the rest of the day. Like, morning routine is the most important part of your life. People say you don't need a morning routine. You live a better life if you have a good morning routine. So yes, that's my kind of quadro rituals. The next part of this morning routine session is, I didn't go into it, but I've already explained the visualization. That is part of my morning routine. And again, it's just visualizing the man that I want to become. And why is that important? Because I'm keep rewiring my brain on a morning, especially on a morning. Again, prefrontal cortex is most active, and I'm visualizing this version of me. And then I continue to show up throughout the day, keep doing the actions that this version of me does. And it hardwires it in your brain. So yeah, what we're going to do next, right? So that's kind of my morning routines. That's like kind of what I would do, right? Or just those are the types of things I would do in my morning routine. Now, what I would say is you should have 3 versions of a morning routine. So the first one is the base level, non-negotiable, 5 minutes, and that can be literally just doing a 5-minute breath work, or it could be sitting there having your cup of coffee on the morning, not like looking at your phone or anything like that. You could just be doing a little visualization, or it could be a 5-minute foam rolling routine, could be a little mobility routine, whatever that is, doing a little bit of movement. It's like a non-negotiable. It's like your very base level. It's like, I at least have to do this on the morning to get me going, to prime myself. Now, the next one is for when you've got a little bit more time. So, the first, the base method is the base morning routine. Let's think like 5 to 10 minutes. Now, the next one is a little bit more of a level up. Maybe you've got 15 to 20 minutes and you might do a little bit of movement, bit breath work, little 5-minute meditation. That's kind of your next one. And then your third variation of your morning routine is where you've got a bit more time. It's probably a Sunday morning for most, where you've got a bit more time. You get up, you can do your mobility, you can do your breath work, a little meditation. You might go for a walk, you might go for a sauna or a steam room. And that is kind of like maybe your ideal morning routine, where it's just like, that is just the perfect start of the day. And so you'd have 3 variations of it. One is your 5 to 10 minute one. The next one's like, 15 minutes to 30 minutes max. And then the third variation, that could be 45 minutes up to maybe over an hour, depending on the person. So yeah, have your 3 variations, and I just want you to take a moment just to write these down and just think to yourself as you go through life. You wake up, or your alarm didn't go off, or you had to work late for whatever reason, and you wake up the next day and you've only got a short time. You're gonna lock in that non-negotiables, that short morning routine. Okay, and then on your standard days where life's going pretty sweet, everything's kind of structured, you're waking up at a great time, you actually have that time on a morning. You can do the medium length one, which is like 30 minutes to 45 minutes. For me, it's kind of like 20 minutes mobility, 10 minutes breath work, 5 minutes visualization. That kind of thing. And then, like I said, it's probably going to be a Saturday or a Sunday when you've got a little bit more time. You're going to have that expanded morning routine. So I want you to just, again, you can draw 3 columns, or you can just bullet point this and just write in what your variations of your morning routine will be. Just to add to that, you want to be what I would say is to be covering like the 3 core areas, which is like kind of mindset, mental fuel, so like learning or taking in some good information, and then your kind of physical activation, which is like, you know, your movement, your mobility. You might do like a little 20-minute workout, whatever that is. And also just think about the habit stacking that I told you about. So habit stacking, what can I integrate with when I do this? Can I do this also? So going out for a walk, listen to a podcast, doing some stretching, listen to an audio book, you know, basically practicing your gratitude while you're out for a walk, that sort of stuff. So if you still need some time, then pause this video, take some time. I'm going to move on to the next part.